Hello, I am Kevin Hunt, and this is my wonderful, beautiful wife, Sheila Hunt. I think of Sheila as being my Proverb 18 and 22. All right, I love that verse because it says, "Who find a wife find a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord." But I also like Proverbs 31 and 10 when it asks a question about who find a virtuous wife. And talk about the virtuous wife, that being Ruby, all those good things. I love those two things because those two things lead into faithful and dependable. And to have a wonderful wife that's faithful and dependable means everything in the world to me. Now, my wife is going to start off talking about what we'll be talking about tonight.
Tonight we will be talking about 5 healthy points to marriage. So tonight, let's get started. Let's have a little fun. Let's talk about the things that keep marriage in a balance. Would you like to start, honey?
Oh yes, the first one I'd like to say is what we call date night. Juice it up a little bit. Go out every once in a while. Go to the movie. Go to a restaurant. You don't have to be every week, but you try to do it at least once a week. If you can, at least once every twice a week. Mix it up sometime. Go to, there's plenty of things to do here in Greensboro, North Carolina. You can go to the movies. You can go downtown and walk around. You can go to a nice restaurant or just go hang out somewhere. So that's one point right there. What about you, Peter?
Well, my point is always about what we do as from the women's perspective. It's hard for women to not die to self. If you are a woman that's a strong, independent person, and then when you get mated up with another person, which is become your spouse, it's hard for you to die to self and to change your ways. You always want to try to do everything your way. So for me, dying to self is a big point so that you can get on the right point with God. Okay? My second point, I'm going to just dive into my second point. And my second point is keeping your marriage in the spirit. I remember when we were getting married during the ceremony, my father prayed over me and he said, always keep your marriage in the spirit. And that meant so much to me from 26 years ago to today. Anytime anything would go off track with us, we get a little confused or misunderstanding each other, I always go back to the spiritual place with God and I begin to pray and ask God, what is he showing me? Not what is he doing in him. Because why start with him when first it's me that may have the misunderstanding? So with me, I like to always say, God, what are you trying to show me? What are you trying to get out of me? So if I die to myself and then I go to God in the spirit realm about the marriage, then that's two things that I focus on as a woman, not just focusing on the man point. All right?
Okay, to take a step back, to tell you a little bit about us, we've been married for 26 years. We've been together for 28, 2 years before we got married. We have 3 wonderful kids, 1 grandson. So that's a little bit about us that we didn't get to say it at the beginning. Another point that I'd like to share with you is to share responsibility. It's not up to just the wife, as some people might think, to do all the cooking, the housework, the cleaning. I think it's responsibility of both people, of both persons. That we both should do the cleaning, we both should do the cooking. It's nothing like when both of you in the kitchen and you're making a salad, you're cutting up the eggs and tomatoes and the cucumbers, but you're doing it together. And then sometimes when we're doing the laundry, she might do it most of the time, but I do share it. She might do it 70% of the time, or might do it 30%, or she might do it 60% of the time before it. So shared responsibility at home is, sometimes she take out the trash. I wish she wouldn't, but I'm not there all the time when it's time for the trash to be taken out. So she take it out. So another point is share the responsibility in the household.
All right, when he said share the responsibility, I like this point about us as I call us a team. We always support each other in whatever we do. I support him in basketball because he's a coach, and he supports me in my business. And whatever we do is supporting each other and talking to each other about whatever each other has to do. Even in his coaching, A.U. Ball, I support him. I don't play basketball? Not at all. I am a supporter to make sure everything he needs is there. Any parents he needs to talk to, I talk to his parents. In sharing with each other and supporting each other, it makes the businesses, it makes the relationship something to relate to. I can talk about basketball and he can talk about my business. So therefore, sharing responsibilities with each other, supporting each other's businesses, being their best supporter. From a wife, be your husband's best supporter, because you don't want other people to support your spouse more than you do. So that's my other point of support. Other thing is like, never lose your identity. In marriage, each person should never lose their identity. Know who you are, stand for who you are, but you don't have to be a loud voice about who you are. Talk to each other with calmness, and so that the joy can still be there, but still knowing that you are a person with an identity and a vision and a purpose. When there is known between the two of you, you're able to continue to work with each other. We work very well with our identity. I knew who he was and what he did before we got married, and I've always respected his way of life. I've always respected the fact that he's a nice, gentle person. He loves to serve the community, and it's not always about me. And sometimes, even when it's not about me, join in. I join in to make it about us. And when we all make it about us, everybody gets a part in the marriage. All the people on the outside see our marriage working, and we work with people. We are really people persons. So, share, care, and love each other. Treat each other with great respect. Always being there for each other. Communicate. Communication is the greatest thing that you can really have in a marriage. We didn't know at first how to communicate. But what I did skip over is to say, give each other a chance to grow in marriage. Because in your beginning, you don't really know each other like you thought you did. So if you grow in your marriage by learning each other ways, likes and dislikes. It took us a while to learn each other ways, but the rough and the tough times makes it so much better. So for our 26 years of marriage, it has grown by leaps and bounds to raise our children the way we have. And, the community knows us, not just by good things, but by our character and by our integrity. So if you got the character and integrity in your marriage and as an individual, that makes the best solution to building teams in marriage. Nothing like a team in a marriage. Right, babe?
Right. And another point is that a sense of humor. You got to have a sense of humor within your marriage and a short memory. All right?
Wow.
It got to be a short memory. You can't go back and say, well, you said you did this 2.5 years ago. It has to be a short memory, and it has to have a sense of humor. Now, understand, it's not a perfect marriage. You're going to have your ups and downs, your good days and your bad days, but it's how do you work at it? How do you get better at it? It's like when I'm coaching, I'm always trying to get better in my coaching and get my team to be better. Same thing about marriage. We always try to improve on it, get it better. After 26 years, we haven't reached that yet. It's a continuation, getting better and better in our relationship. So, we don't say that we have a perfect marriage, but we are working towards a perfect marriage. And we always like to say a good thing to each other when we say, and one of the things, when you are arguing about something, never use the D word, not the cuss word, but the D word, divorce. Never use that as a leverage, a control type of situation. So in some type of argument, don't bring up, well, we can get a divorce, or we can do, we don't have to be together. So stay away from the D word, or both D words, really. And, I think we're about ready to come to the end, but would you like to tell how we met?
Well, we met.
Give us a 2-minute version instead of the 10-minute version.
How Calvin and I met with a student, him being a teacher, and I was a bus driver. The bus driver borrowed 50 cents from him. And when the bus driver told him that the bus driver, was going to pay him back. I didn't know him at the time, so at the about 3 weeks in the midst of waiting for his 50 cent, he came to my bus and said I owed him 50 cent. And I said, I don't even know you and I don't owe you any money. So we played games with each other for about 3 weeks, 3 more weeks, over 50 cent. And then, I never gave him the 50 cent, but then after time went by, look at us now. 50 cent, we always say 50 cent brought us together, 50 cent will keep us. The grace and the peace of God is what we strive for. We always look at 50 cent if we never have anything else. 50 cent is 2 coins that comes together to make 2. 2 whole people together, and we strive on 50 cent. Living our life by the joy that we have with each other, understanding each other, talking to each other. Always looking back at what brought us to where we are now. If 50 cent brought us, 50 cent can keep us. And we always say, by the grace of God, we will always be together to death do us part. And what keeps us together totally is loving our family. If we love each other and love our family the way we love each other, we can be a whole unit. And that's what we strive at, being a whole unit. Anything else, babe?
Make sure you value your spouse. Do nice things for them. Flowers, candy, wherever, good word. Value what you have here, because I believe I have a treasure, I have a blessing. I believe that she was a blessing from the Lord. And I always think my kids are a blessing and stuff. I joke with her sometimes. I joke with her, I said, you should call me Lord. And then she'd be like, you must be crazy. I'm like, well, Sarah called Abraham Lord, but it was the lowercase L instead of uppercase L. So you can call me Lord with the lowercase L.
So all we can say is that in all of this, we have fun together. Nothing makes a marriage better than laughing, having fun. He can be sarcastic, I can be serious, but now I've learned to have fun with his sarcasm. So if you are married and you need to pump it up, make marriage work a little bit harder, look at each other and learn what fun is with each other. Go back to your beginning. What brought you together will keep you. If you let other people and other things get in your grass, that means you have contaminated the grass. We keep our marriage to ourselves. We strive on keeping a unit together and keeping unity. So if you need some more marriage tips, look us up. We right here at Harvest City Church, coming to share what God has given us with you. So get on board and let marriage be a blessing, not a divorce. Marriage is wonderful. Get out of that crowded grass and get into some clean grass with the Lord. We have enjoyed you and hope you have enjoyed us. Have a blessed, awesome day and enjoy yourself in whatever you do. God bless you.